Once upon a time, in a faraway kingdom, there lived a beautiful princess named Snow White. Her skin was as white as snow, her lips as red as a rose, and her hair as black as ebony. Snow White was as kind as she was beautiful, and everyone loved her, except for her stepmother, the wicked queen. The queen owned a magical mirror, and every day she would ask, "Mirror, mirror on the wall, who is the fairest of them all?" The mirror would always reply, "You, my queen, are the fairest of them all." But one terrible day, the mirror replied, "Snow White is the fairest of them all." The wicked queen, consumed by jealousy, decided to get rid of Snow White. She ordered a huntsman to take her deep into the forest and leave her there forever. The huntsman couldn't bear to harm innocent Snow White, so he let her run free. Lost and frightened, Snow White wandered through the dark forest until she stumbled upon a tiny cottage. Exhausted, she knocked on the door, but no one answered. Though she felt uneasy, she opened the door and stepped inside. To her surprise, the house was small but cozy, with tiny chairs and a little table set for 7. Snow White decided to explore this unusual house. There were 7 tiny beds lined up in the bedroom, and she couldn't fight her exhaustion any longer. She lay across the beds and fell into a deep sleep. As night fell, the 7 owners of the cottage returned. They were 7 dwarfs named Doc, Grumpy, Happy, Sleepy, Bashful, Sneezy, and Dopey. They were surprised to find someone sleeping in their beds. Doc, the leader, said gently, "Who could this be?" Snow White woke up, startled, but soon realized that these little men were friendly. She told them her sad story, and the dwarfs, feeling sorry for her, offered Snow White a place to stay. Delighted, she accepted. Snow White lived happily in the cottage, taking care of the dwarfs, and they, in turn, watched over her. But far away, the wicked queen found out Snow White was still alive. Disguising herself as an old peddler woman, the queen made her way to the dwarf's cottage. She tricked Snow White into eating a poisoned apple. One bite, and Snow White fell to the ground, trapped in a deep sleep. When the dwarfs returned home that evening, they found Snow White lifeless on the floor. Heartbroken, they placed her in a glass coffin in the forest, hoping that one day she might wake. Time passed, and one day a handsome prince from a nearby kingdom came riding through the forest. He saw Snow White and was taken by her beauty. As he leaned to give her a gentle kiss, Snow White's eyes fluttered open. The dwarfs rejoiced, and the prince, overjoyed, asked Snow White to return with him to his castle. She agreed, but not before thanking her little friends for their kindness. Snow White promised to visit often. Snow White and the prince lived happily ever after, and the wicked queen, when she glanced into her mirror again, found that it no longer had any answers for her, fading away into her own lonely world. And in the hearts of her friends, Snow White remained the fairest of them all.